Hey, welcome to today's Link Talks podcast, and we are going to have a great conversation today around executive leadership. And in order to do that proficiently, I have invited two of the gurus of executive leadership. That's Daniel Cavazos from Resurrection Life Church in Granville, Michigan, and Josh Hampstra from B1 Church all over the country, all over the world, right? So welcome, guys. Daniel, take just a minute, introduce yourself, tell a little bit about what you do, what your role is here at Res Life.
Yeah, so my role is executive pastor, as you said. I've been in it about 3 years. And prior to that, I've done a little bit of tech, a little bit of media, some nursery, children's ministry, next-gen ministry, and having a little bit of that history and that I feel like it's definitely added value to my role and understanding
also
different
a campus
parts.
Pastor.
Campus pastor as well for a couple years, and so bringing that in has been definitely helpful.
Yeah, awesome. Yep. Josh, tell a little bit about what you do at V1.
Yeah, so I'm the exec pastor there, and I work out of Indiana. I know this always kind of throws people off. They're like, wait, you're in Indiana, but your locations are also in New York, and it's like, yes, we make it work. Yeah. So work with Pastor Mike almost every day, and then the rest of our team kind of around the country, and making sure the ship is going in the right direction.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, in the seat that you guys sat in, which I sat in for many years as well, it's that seat of what I call the seat of in between.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you're the second in the line of authority, so to speak. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so you play that role of dynamic tension between pastor's vision, pastor's voice, and the everyday outworking of everything that the team is getting assigned, and so you kind of play that role. That's a dynamic tension. Tell us a little bit, Daniel, maybe some high spots that you've experienced in the last 3 years setting in that role. Like what are some things that you feel like are necessary to bring to the table to set in that role? That's
a great question. When you saying that it's the seat of in between is really what it is, and I've heard it said too, and I feel this is accurate, that this person has to have the vision and the ability to see down the road, to understand and catch what the senior pastor is really giving, but also have the ability to see the piece of paper on the floor. Yeah. So you got to be like this high, but yet this close and this low to what's going on.
Exactly.
And that is definitely a dynamic. But, I really believe that having that consistent conversation, proximity with the senior leader, and having that same consistent conversation, proximity with the team is absolutely key. Yeah. And just seeing that with different things of, hey, this is what we want to do this year. This is where we're heading. Yep. Be it in the service flow to overall church culture or initiative, just having those conversations and that consistent proximity has been absolutely key.
Yeah. And Josh, your role's pretty unique because you guys are a unique church in the sense that you have kind of brick and mortar locations, and then you've got this online presence and influence where God has really equipped you guys to shape a lot of the culture. I almost think of it this way: Billy Graham was like a voice in his generation, right? Where he gathered all these people into these stadiums and things. I almost see you guys as a Billy Graham, but it's all digital. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Rather than the stadiums
I received that. Yeah.
The digital proximity is so close, right there. But you're carrying a role where you're not only listening to the vision of Mike, but then you've got to translate that into different locations, different environments, cultures, and things of that nature. Tell us a little bit about that role, how you're functioning in that.
Yeah, I think when I see something at a campus that is going wrong, it's usually because the people either don't understand the vision or they're not second voicing the leadership of the church into the situations that they're finding themselves in. And it's like the more we second voice each other, and it's not just all of us being the voice of Pastor Mike. Yeah. It's us having a collective chorus. And I think that's something even I've been learning recently is how do I bring the vision and mission into conversations, not just being like, here's our vision, everybody.
Right.
Here's the mission. It's on the wall. Because a lot of times you see something on the wall, it's like, yeah, no one's living this.
Yeah.
It's like, how do we actually live that?
Yeah.
And a lot of it is being able to take the voice of leadership and obviously the voice of God into conversations and saying like, hey, because especially having a church that has multiple campuses, it's a lot of times I'm re-saying something Pastor Mike has already said, but then I'm also bringing him in so that they feel also a closeness to their pastors. Not only him, but also the campus pastors, because it's a lot of times churches will struggle with culture, and it's like no one's honoring each other.
Yeah.
Like everyone's trying to fight for something, and it's like, man, to go low. And I feel like that middle seat, there's high authority to it, but it's like the lower you go in humility, the more successful you will be.
Yeah.
It's like the humility is the driver of success.
I love that.
I
love that.
Yeah, really
you know, you both have hit on it, and it's a reality. And we talk about this all the time. Culture eats vision for lunch.
Yeah.
Every day. Okay. So there's in your context, you're driving that culture from the senior pastor into a solo location. Okay. This is the house.
Right.
You're driving culture into multiple locations, which it's in Miami, it's in New York, it's in Indiana, all over the place. So what do you think are some of the key things that your role demands to be able to make sure culture gets driven down? Because really, culture is only as deep as it goes in the ranks, right?
Right.
If it stays at the executive team, then you don't have a healthy culture, right? The culture's got to get all the way down to the least of the least, if we call it that.
Right. For me, the first thing that comes to mind is you got to model it.
Yeah.
You really got to embody it, and it's got to be genuine. It can't be like, I'm going to do this so that this can happen. Like, it's got to be real in your heart. Pastor Dwayne teaches on it quite often. He uses Moses, and he says you got to come in before the people and come out before the people. You have to be a model.
Yeah.
And I really believe that is, for me, the strongest tactic, if you will, strategy, if you will, to really drive culture down. It's that, there's going to be times in my week that I'm in my office, I'm doing work, I'm working on things, or I'm meeting with people in the office setting, but I make it a priority of mine, and I make it an intentional practice to get out and to come and walk the hallways and to see the different people in different roles and different departments and be able to come alongside them, say hi. They're seen, they're known, and it doesn't have to be a big thing, but just being able to embody our value system. What really matters to us. And if we say people matter to us, and we try to really represent that the best way possible in a genuine fashion.
Yeah. Now you have a tough role because like he can walk the halls, right? And he can see his people face to face. You got to drive culture through Zoom. You got to drive culture through, random opportunities that life presents itself for you. What are some key things that you do to make sure it gets driven?
Yeah, I would second voice what he's already saying in terms of, it's like what you're saying is basically like you catch things and you like, it's not caught, it's taught, or it's not taught, it's caught. Right. It's like we need both of those things.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And I think the catching is the impartation of us showing. And for us, it's like our campus pastors and the leaders at the campuses, if they're not only teaching it but showing it, that's where you'll see breakdown.
Yeah.
It's like they don't just want to hear from you. Like get there early, be there before they get there.
Yeah.
Like show it to them, and that begins to get imparted. And usually when we start to see a breakdown at a campus, the first thing I go to is the campus pastor.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is on you. It's like whoever you are is what the people will become.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not, because a lot of times it'll be like, well, if this team, if this director of the kids department did this different, if this happened, it's like, no, this is you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about Pastor Dwayne's leadership is like, it is like a Moses, like I'll go up the mountain first, I'll come back down, and if I have to break the tablets in front of you and make you drink the water, you know, like I'll do it. It's just like, yeah, man, like to have that type of like leadership at a church, it's like that's what people are longing for. It is to be like, man, don't just tell it to me, show it to me.
Yeah.
And what I've learned over time, especially with the younger generation, is talk is beyond cheap to them. It's like, show it to me, please. Like, give me graphs, give me charts, like give me the presentation. I don't want to just hear it, like show it to me. And that's the same thing with our own lives.
Yeah.
It's like, if we're not showing it. And then the second thing I'll just add on to that is inspection. It's like the level of inspection usually is much higher than what people think it is.
Right.
For real success in terms of a campus growing or a church growing.
Yeah.
It's usually when there's something growing like that, it's like what you're saying, the paper on the floor. Like, hey, I don't want to be a part of a church that people see that and are just like, oh, that stinks. It's like, no, see it and pick
Take
it up,
ownership.
throw it away. Yeah, it's like owning that. And so,
Yeah.
but that requires a massive amount of inspection, where it usually feels like it's overboard to the people you're doing it to. They're like, do they not trust me?
Yeah.
Like, don't they trust me to do this? And it's like, well, I kind of do, but the inspection proves that I can trust you.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that word, inspection. Another word is accountability.
Yeah.
Because what we tolerate in culture will become the culture.
Yeah.
And if we don't keep
true.
high accountability, high inspection, then there's a drift. You don't think about it. It might be just a little bitty drift here, but when you begin to push that out,
Absolutely.
the gap gets wider and wider and wider. And so thorough inspection, thorough accountability is necessary. It's almost imperative. Now, we're talking to you guys because you're sitting at the second seat, but you're leading people that are running departments.
Right.
You're leading people that are supporting departments. You're leading people that are leading volunteers, right? And I don't think sometimes they understand that they need to have the same mindset in their role that you carry at your role.
Yeah.
Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah. I could speak on to how I do it here. And that what you just said is absolutely true. You know, it can be, I guess. And so what do you do to bridge that gap? What do you do to bring alignment, to not just expect something without giving them an opportunity to really understand it and own it?
Yeah.
So for me, I really see the value in a consistent gathering with my lead team.
Yeah.
And my lead team consists of, in the room, each person in that room represents and touches every single department, representing every single person on the staff and their volunteers. And so if we have something that Pastor Dwayne wants us to do, because we meet on a consistent basis, I bring these to the meeting. And one of the things that I have found very successful and helpful is when I'm talking to our senior leader, Pastor Dwayne, and he's asking for something, I don't think it's uncommon for a senior leader to say, hey, I want this done and I want it done quick, and here's how I want it done. And, you know, in my seat, what I have done, and Pastor Dwayne has invited me into this, which is very helpful, is I ask, hey, how urgent is this, and what are you really trying to accomplish? Because he knows this to be true, and I do my best to represent the team, but sometimes I remind him in an honoring, respectful way, but still I remind him to say, it's a win to get this done, but it's an equal win to get it done in the most healthy way possible, which has to involve the right people. And so oftentimes, most of the times, you know, he lends to that, and it allows me to go to this team and to say, here's what the overall goal is. Let's breathe into that.
Yeah.
What do you say, representing who you represent, advocating for who you advocate, thinking about your context?
Yeah.
Speak into this. Take some ownership into it, because if they can own it, if they can be a part of building it,
Yeah.
then the likelihood of them walking away and sustaining it and having accountability to it goes through the roof.
Yeah. So you give them a voice. They don't get a vote, but they get a voice.
Well, sometimes they get a vote. It depends. Okay. And that has been helpful too. That language has been very helpful.
Yeah.
And I sit down with Pastor Dwayne, and sometimes I'll ask him outright, hey, is this something that we have a vote in? Or is it not?
Yeah.
And I will just be very clear about it with the team.
Yeah.
You know, and my goal is to have as much voice as possible.
Yeah.
Like if I had it my way, it would be, the majority would be voice, because then when you go back and it's a vote, it's like you've already built an account. You've built some equity with the team, and it's like, yeah, we got you. You know, we can make this happen.
Yeah.
But if it's only nothing but, you know, just you don't have any vote at all, then you know it can feel fatiguing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. The pastor always carries the veto.
Yeah.
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about the veto.
Yeah, so one thing that, just as you were talking, I was like, man, first of all, he's like cooking over here. I was like, come on, Daniel, preach, man. I'm getting something good out of this too. But I think about when you were talking about like the voting or just giving vision, being like, this is what we want. We know this is it. A lot of times our team will be thinking about the process like more than the people it's connecting to.
Yeah.
And they will.
That's good.
And it's like, we'll give a vision, but then the end result won't be what we wanted, because they were only thinking about like the process and the system for it. And it's like, wait a minute, aren't we here for people?
Right.
You know, like, aren't we actually here for people? And I think when things are vetoed from us, it's usually because they'll come to us with this big, hey, we want to do this. And it's like, that may be a great thing, but the fruit that you think will be there won't be there. And I think that's where having a team where there's a respect up and a respect down, but then also when I talk about inspection with our team, I'm also saying, like, hear from the people in your department and church members. Like the thing that this thing is touching, like the tactic. It's like we could get so consumed with the strategy and the bigger thing, but it's like, yeah, but the tactic, it's like, I want to know how the person's holding the sign in front of the building. Are they wearing a coat? Is it cold outside? Do they have mittens? You know, like getting granular and like deep into those things, because
it's really good.
And a lot of times we'll veto things because it's like, hey, this thing will be, in theory, great. But actually, the people that this touches, they'll be angry, they'll be upset, they'll be thinking, oh, they don't even know us at all. Yeah. They haven't even talked to us. They don't, you know. And I know I can give things to our team where they are saying that about me, and that's why I love your story. Is like being on worship, being a janitor, you know, being like cleaning the toilet. It's like we try to get our teams to start at the lowest possible.
Yeah, that's good.
Within the church, because it's like, if I could put myself in the people's shoes, if I could have empathy and say, okay, I'm the exec pastor now, and this is my role, but when I make this decision or don't make it or veto it, the veto usually comes from us putting ourselves in the shoes of the people.
Yeah.
And then hopefully the team is like, oh, I get it now. It's not just like, oh, they don't know.
Who's impacted by this?
Exactly.
You know, what are the unintended consequences?
Yeah.
How does this really play out?
Yeah.
It's really good. It's a good filter.
One of the things I think is important is that our position never becomes, it's almost like our team is thinking about the processes, right? They're thinking about how this is going to affect their day-to-day operations, what kind of, you know, how's it going to tax my volunteer time, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes, though, we think of it from a perspective of, okay, position over purpose. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay. position can never override purpose. Purpose has always got to sustain the position.
Yeah.
Right.
And if we don't understand our purpose is people, that at the end of the day, that's what we're all about. We're all about people.
Yeah.
And we're not careful, then it skews our model, our ability to model the culture.
Yeah.
Okay? Because when you come into a setting, you carry a rank and you model something. Okay? If you think about government, you think about the people that are representing us in the United States right now. Some of them are not being a very good model, right?
Yeah.
Their position has overridden their purpose.
Yeah.
And they're thinking about what can take me down the road, okay? Rather than understanding your purpose is to serve the people.
That's really good.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's really good.
And that's our purpose in leading our teams and our staff, is that we've got to model the culture that we wanted.
Yeah.
So if we're going to inspect, there's a reciprocal inspection that takes place.
That's really good.
Isn't that right?
Can I say something on
Yeah.
that comes to mind that I feel is absolutely important to have in this role? Is in this role, because you are about purpose, right? But you carry a position. You see what we need from the senior leader and from your prayer closet. You see who we have to accomplish that. It is absolutely important. It is so vital that someone in this seat has to be okay with knowing that they made something happen that is so amazing, but never getting the glory for it.
Yeah.
Never being recognized for
Exactly.
it. And that's how you keep purpose in front in the position.
Yeah.
The moment you feel like you need to be seen, that you need to have the credit, that was my idea. I set that meeting up, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, I got that from Pastor Dwayne, and I helped him with this. The moment you feel like you have to have the spotlight is the moment that position and your own ego and what have you, all of a sudden purpose starts to take the back seat. And I've seen that, and I've tried my best to just stay low, like what you were saying. Is
I love that. Staying low.
Yeah.
That's what Jesus modeled. He said, I didn't come to be served, I came to serve. Okay, let's shift gears for just a minute, because we're leading like department heads, okay?
Yeah.
So that department head has to lead up, and that department head has to lead down, correct? How do we educate or train or disciple that person? What do you see as the best method to disciple them so that they follow you like you follow Christ? Kind of Paul's motto, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to emulate somewhat what you emulate in your position, and below them, their staff, their team are going to emulate them, and that's where that filter, that cascading down is where we start. The vision starts to leak a little bit, right? Because people start taking a little bit here and a little bit there. What do you think is a sound advice for the middle management, if you want to call it that, for them to really lead effectively in their roles?
Yeah, I would say the number one thing that I see at V1 when something is breaking down as well within like a department where there's multiple heads and then people underneath them, is there will usually be some form of communication breakdown in terms of the original vision to the thing that people are hearing. And usually when people are coming to me, they're like, hey, is this really what we wanted to do? And I'm like, no, it's like 90% different. And like what you were saying earlier with that like drift, where it's like it only takes a 1%, and then within 6 months the thing could be so far off in the ocean where you're like, what has this thing even become? And a lot of times that the breakdown, in my opinion and in my experience, is not just a breakdown of communication, but a lack of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And many times what we think, if we think we're doing a good job in communication, we need to do it 50% more.
Yep.
It's like at our church and any church I've ever walked into and like, hey, how's everything going with your team? And it's like, I never really know what's going on here. I hear it last members are telling me what's happening, like things like that. And I'm like, and it's like, okay, well, this happens at my church too. So this is like a big C church problem.
Yeah.
But I think like not just the breakdown of comms in terms of like when you say it to this person, and what we'll do, like we have a Monday meeting with Pastor Mike, our campus pastors and exec team, for about 2 hours every Monday morning.
Yeah.
And then on Thursday we call it get it right, get it tight. And like during that meeting, we'll say like, hey, you're going to run the rally at your campus this Sunday. Practice it for us.
Yeah.
Like do it right now. Or a tithe message. Okay, who wants to do a tithe message right now?
Yeah.
A 3-minute. And bring a scripture from the Old Testament. And it's like having people physically have to do it and be like, okay. And then we do coaching in real time. Like, hey, you said this, but if you leaned in a little bit more to this thing, and it's almost like the tell it and show it.
Yeah.
It's like teaching people how to effectively communicate is part of the battle, because a lot of times people are like, I feel like I'm communicating. It's like, if you are, you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
Like you're doing it way wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, communicate. I think of communication. I agree with you, and I don't know if you agree as well, Daniel. That, I mean, communication is like probably one of the most critical things we can do. But here's the issue: is it's kind of like, remember the circle when you whisper in somebody's ear and then you whisper
telephone game.
When you get around,
it's
nothing like what it started.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah.
And that's because, number one, what's communicated has to be communicated effectively.
Right.
Your words matter.
Right.
Okay? So terminology is what breeds culture, even advances culture. What we're saying, how we're saying it, what the vernacular that we're using in the process. So communication is effective. And like you said, I communicate. I say, hey, we're going to do this. I think I've communicated, right? But you haven't understood everything about what I just said. What's the why? How? What's the how? Where is the thing going to happen? All those elements that just a sentence doesn't bring to bear. And so communicating over and over and over so that we hear it effectively. Somebody said something, and I don't know if this is true or not, but you gotta see a commercial about 6 times before it ever has an impact on you.
Yeah.
So if you think about that from a marketing standpoint, from a communication standpoint, that's even more relevant. So I don't know, how do you guys drive communication through your organization?
So for us on a practical level, we really promote one-on-one meetings. We really feel that that's a really good setting for there to be not just a dialogue, but there to be a back and forth, because somebody once said that it's not effective communication until the person you're talking to understands what you're saying.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like you have a space for them to ask questions, to be transparent as possible. I like what you guys do in that setting where, it's almost like, hey, in a creative way, play it back to us in your own way. And then you can then see, actually, it's not like that or whatever. So one-on-ones is big. I meet with my lead team every week. We do a 2-hour meeting, which can sound a lot long for a lot of people. And then we do a 1-hour meeting. In that 2-hour meeting, we take time to pray together, which is really big, because if it's just nothing but task and process, then the heart of what we do can get lost in translation. And I've seen a retreat every now and again, the prayer time that we have together. And that has really, it's brought us together. It's helped us to be more open up and have trust and ask those questions, and it's really helped us as a team. But in those 2-hour meetings, I use it to really bring to those agendas some of the things that we're doing, like as a church, some of the bigger things. And out of that meeting, we create talking points. And so every ops leader will meet with their team that day and take what we talked about with there's always 3 things in the agenda for us. It's either a discussion, a report or a decision.
Yeah.
And so what did we discuss? What did we report on? And what did we decide? And then that's a way that we've seen effective to cascade it down to everybody, because they meet with their departments. And in that setting, because they were in the meeting, they can represent what we talked about, answer any questions. And then that 1 hour meeting, it's more kind of a tactic meeting. So we don't produce talking points out of it. But those are two ways that we've done it. We also meet with the staff. And of course, from that talking points, the teams will meet with their volunteers if it makes sense.
Yeah.
And they'll bring that to their volunteer, pre-service meetings as well, and allow them to know what's going on and what we're doing.
Yeah.
Let me just share a secret weapon
Okay.
that we use. And here's the thing. I know churches are very afraid of AI.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, Lyle talking to the camera, don't use AI for
Look,
preaching.
I'm getting real comfortable with AI because your otter comes into my meetings all the time.
I don't even have to show up. It's great.
I'm
But
just
yeah,
kidding.
yeah.
Go ahead.
So don't use AI for preaching, okay? Because anyone who hears AI in a church, like, oh, are they using, and I've seen people try to interpret dreams with AI and things like that, and had to confront them, like, hey, man.
My gosh.
But what we do with AI is every single meeting we have is recorded.
Yeah.
Because everyone's on Zoom. We don't have the luxury of all getting on the table.
Yeah.
But and what we do for each department, if it's like a bigger department meeting, we plug that into AI and say, for a kids director, what would the action items be from this meeting? Give me 3 examples. And it's like the more you feed it and ask the right questions,
the more it can work for you.
Like it'll give you a 3-page, like if I was, the exec pastor should be thinking about these things, and I'm like, oh, I didn't have these anywhere in my notes. And so it's like there is effective ways where sometimes you could be in a 2-hour meeting and be like, wait, what's the action item from this? Like, what am I supposed to do with all this information? Yeah. And so there is ways to use technology the right way that isn't it telling us theology or telling us how to run the church. Right. It's like helping us already say the things we've already said.
Yeah, we use AI in those meetings as well.
Yeah. That's great.
It's a tool.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. It's good.
Well, today we've kind of talked this thing from an executive level, but I know that we have a lot of people listening today that carry different responsibilities. What I want to say to you is the very principles that they use in their position will work in your position, whether you're a youth pastor, children's pastor, even with your volunteers. And that's really where it hits the road. We didn't have time to really drive this down. We drove it into the staff element, but from the staff element, you got to drive that into your volunteers, because you are protecting the culture, the vision, and the mission of the church when you empower that volunteer to do the work of the ministry. Okay? When they take and they bring things from the outside or bring their own perspective and they start peeling away from the culture and from the vision, then you're going to have division, and that can't be successful in the kingdom.
Right.
We want to be in unity. We want to be in alignment with each other. Paul said, to keep these things, I can't remember exactly how it says it, but to the extent that we want to say the same things, we want to live the same things, we want to walk the same things. We want to have unity and harmony in our setting, and the best way that you can do that is to take some of these principles and apply them to your setting. Thanks for being a part of Link Talks today. We hope something has helped you, and we'll see you next time.